Welcome Gemini, thanks for joining me. It's December 2016, Dadhichi here. It's the last month of the year, so I guess Christmas greetings are in order. Merry Christmas. For those of you that are new, I hope you had a listen to the introduction, which is all on, I guess, forks in the road of life and choices that have to be made. Right now, if we take a look at your horoscope, we've just had a new moon there in your 7th house. Very, very significant because relationships are always important. You can't really avoid those relationships in life. But in particular, the 7th house has to do with those significant partnerships or relationships, including marriage, de facto relationships. And the new moon there, especially being near Saturn, shows that you've had some fairly big decisions maybe to make there. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean leaving the person that you love, but it may mean a real choice in how you are conducting yourself in those relationships, how you are working through your problems together. So I think that's significant. Mercury also in this position, your ruling planet, adds additional weight to the fact that you are working through some of those relationship issues at this very late stage of the year. Now, Mercury moves its position to the 8th house, where it will come in contact with Pluto, who has been transiting that sexual, deep emotional and transformative part of your horoscope for some years now. Venus also transiting this area, which means that there's going to be a focus or communication about the deeper intimate aspects of your relationship throughout this month as well. That happens on December 3rd. The transit of Venus in that area only happens up until December 8th, when it moves into the 9th house, where we see Mars. So there is a lot of different areas that are happening in quick succession for you. And we see that the 9th house, which is the travel house, the education house, the higher mind, spirituality, the guru, teachings, long distance information and connections, that is an interesting one, because that could be where some of your energies are focused. Having Venus, the planet of love, moving into that 9th house. And bear in mind too that Venus for you rules your 12th house of immigration, secrets, and also foreign affairs. So for some of you, this could be a time when you are trying to reach out, connect with maybe friends online through internet chat services, dating sites, that sort of thing. So it's actually quite good transiting in the 9th house. So as that planet, a very friendly planet, and your own ruling planet start to move up into the upper part of the horoscope, the next 2 or 3 months are going to be very interesting for you. And I would say very, very successful as well, as long as you use your communication skills in a positive way. The Sun conjunction Saturn. Now that's a tough one. That's taking place on the 10th. And that's just before the I should look up, shouldn't I? I'm looking at my notes here. That should take place just before the triangular aspect of the Sun to Uranus. So some really weird energies there. One which is causing you to hold back, another one which is causing you to be completely in break-free mode. Now that's likely because, again, this is all happening from that relationship sector in your horoscope, showing some additional responsibilities, restrictions, constraints, a withholding of love and affection, a sense of greater responsibility, a shouldering of that burden, which could result very quickly in a breaking free of those shackles. Now, you've got to be careful how you do that. If you're feeling caged, if you're in a relationship or situation where you don't have the freedom to do what you want, then this could be a time where you really throw all cares to the wind, or should I say throw the baby out with the bathwater. Be careful of that. There are ways to communicate and to work through these problems without doing something silly that you will regret later. Mercury, by the way, your ruler, and this is important for you, goes retrograde on the 19th, just before Christmas. So a lot of your thinking, a lot of what was happening in this area that I've just been talking about is likely to be revised. You may have to go over old ground and discuss these things with the person you love or the person you're in business with. That 7th house has a lot to do with business partnerships as well. So definitely a time of communication. Also, a lot of astrologers and lay people are often talking about this retrograde Mercury being a very bad time to sign contracts, to do this, that or the other. Well, you know, the world can't stop because Mercury is retrograde, but just a positive bit of advice for you is that the retrogression of Mercury is usually quite a good thing. It empowers your ruling planet and gives you a sense of strength. So in this 8th house, by the way, this has to do with money, shared resources, taxes, annuities, superannuation. It could be that some of this revision is relating to money and finance. So you need to do what you have to put your mind at ease and to make sure that you've been doing everything correctly on that front. The transit of Sun into this area will meet the retrogressing Mercury, so that's going to highlight that and cause you to do something a little out of character perhaps. The Sun rules your 3rd house of intelligence, communication as well, but also the sector that we relate to valour or courage, doing something that you might normally not be brave enough to do. So that's good. You've always got to try new things. The excellent trine aspect of Venus to Jupiter on the 25th is lovely. That again is occurring in your, let's have a look there, it moved out into the sign of Aquarius, which is your 9th house. That's likely the time when journeys can take place. That makes sense. It's Christmas, some really fun times. A wealth of great feeling can be accompanied by this particular transit, so it's all fun. A bit of an abrasive aspect from Jupiter to Uranus. Just as you wanted to break free and do something out of character, your partner may also do that when Jupiter comes into contact, or rather opposition, with Uranus on the 27th. This is all interesting, all appropriate, I think, given the movement of the planets just at the tail end of the year. There's going to be a lot more happening for you with all those planets moving in the upper part of the chart. I hope you're going to join me in January, as usual, to find out what 2017 holds in store, a special sort of edition to give you some even deeper insights into that. Merry Christmas anyhow. Take care, have fun. May Santa bring you everything you dream of, and don't forget to take a visit to astrology.com.au, my website, for more information on the upcoming trends. Take care now. Bye-bye.